Climate science is telling us that we're on track for over 3 degrees Celsius of warming this century. That means millions of deaths. It means billions of people at risk of losing their home to floods and deserts. It will mean refugee crises that dwarf what we're seeing today, and in the future, potentially, an uninhabitable planet. This is not something you can put a price on. The Green New Deal is essential to avoid climate catastrophe. It would be worth giving up a lot for that. But here's the thing. For most of us, the Green New Deal will leave us better off economically than we are today. Right now, millions of working-age people are unemployed in this country. Many millions more are underemployed. The labor force participation rate is 3 points lower than it was a decade ago. That represents an enormous amount of productive labor that is currently going to waste. Productivity growth is also still very slow, and in large part that is also due to weak demand. Someone needs to spend money to put people to work, to give businesses a reason to boost investment and raise productivity. Consumers won't spend money if their incomes are low. Businesses won't invest if there's no one to sell to. That's where government needs to step in. Investing in our economy when no one else can, putting millions of Americans back to work, and raising living standards in the process. That's why we shouldn't think of the Green New Deal as an economic cost. It's actually the solution to our biggest economic problem. But can we pay for it? Easily. The Green New Deal will be funded the same way we paid for the original New Deal, the same way we paid for World War II. Congress will authorize the expenditures, and the Treasury will spend the money. Now, over time, that spending will be financed by some mix of borrowing and higher taxes, especially on the rich. Whether or not we need to raise taxes on the rich to pay for the Green Deal is honestly a bit beside the point. Taxing away extreme concentrations of income and wealth is good for our democracy. As for debt, it's strange to be worrying about that when interest rates are still extremely low by historical standards. If anyone is worried about federal debt, it clearly is not the bond markets. They seem to be saying, please borrow more. The limit on what we can spend isn't financing, it's the real resources of our economy. And when we see inflation that the Fed can't get up to its target, when we see huge numbers of prime-age people still out of work in a supposedly strong labor market, when we see businesses enjoying record profits but still slow to find anything to invest in, when we see wage growth barely budging, then it is very clear that we are far from any real limits to our productive capacity. A Green New Deal doesn't mean cutting back on other material needs. It means mobilizing the vast, unused capacity of our economy that is currently going to waste.